This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any sort of immigration problem or immigration query or are uncertain about anything about immigration, get in touch with me and I'll do my best to help you. Today we're going to be talking about the Home Office announcement and changes to the new route to come to the United Kingdom, which is the Youth Mobility Visa. Today I'm going to explain in a little bit more detail this rather unusual method of entering the United Kingdom. And the reason for that is that the Home Office have updated their guidance on the Youth Mobility Visa scheme and the ballot system on the 4th of July 2022. It is not open to everyone. For certain people from certain countries you will need to enter a ballot. It's a bit like a lottery to see if you qualify. Below is a brief description of this new route. If you think you might be interested or qualify, then do get in touch with me. The general rules are that you can apply for a Youth Mobility Scheme visa if you are, or if you want to live and work in the United Kingdom for up to 2 years, you're between 18 and 30, you've got £2,530 in savings, have certain types of British nationality or from certain countries or territories. The people that don't need to enter the ballot are those people from Australia, Canada, Monaco, New Zealand, San Marino and Iceland. They can just come into the United Kingdom if they meet the above criteria in respect of wanting to stay in the money. However, you must be, if you don't come from those countries, you must enter a ballot system under the Youth Mobility Scheme before you can apply for your visa if you're from Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea and Taiwan. It's not just limited to those countries. You can also apply if you're 18 to 30 and a British overseas citizen, a British overseas territory citizen or a British national overseas. They all sound British, but not all of them give the right of abode to live in the United Kingdom thanks to a piece of legislation which is quite old now. Please note that the application fee itself is £259, which is quite modest, and you must show that you've got at least £2,500 in your bank account and you can support yourself in the UK. It is also vital that you must show that the money has been available for 28 days in a row and that day 28 is within 31 days of applying for the visa. Old bank statements will lead to a refusal. You will also have to pay the immigration health surcharge, which is usually around about £9.40 for the 2 years that you'll be living in the United Kingdom. If you're from a country that requires a ballot entry, and you'll see the above countries, the ballots are open for a period of 48 hours in both January and July. You will need to enter the ballot by sending an email, and only one ballot entry can be submitted per person. So you can't just buy lots of lottery tickets, as it were. If you want to enter the ballot system, you're going to have to send an email that's written in English, and you've got to include the following format. The subject line of your email must include your name, your date of birth, your passport number, and then you've got to write your name by putting your last name first, as it were, and your first name last, and then your date of birth. An example would be, say, Wong Janet, and the date of birth would be 01/04/2000, and the passport number 943644578 or whatever it is. The body of the email, the contents of the email, I've got to include your name, your date of birth, your passport number, your mobile phone number. Now, when's the ballot opening? The big question. Well, the ballot's going to be opening from the 25th of July, so not very long, 2022, to midday on the 27th of July 2022. So it's coming up soon. Please also bear in mind that this will be adherent to the respective time zones in Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea and Taiwan, because they're the countries that you need to enter the ballot from. If you're successful in the ballot, you will be contacted quickly by the 29th of July, and you'll have 30 days to submit your application and pay once you've received your email. After this, you'll have 90 days to book your appointment at a visa application centre, and you should get a decision on your application typically within 3 weeks of attending your appointment. Don't worry if you're unsuccessful in the ballot. You will receive an email which tells you that within 2 weeks that you didn't qualify, but you can always enter the next ballot when it opens later next year. So if you don't get in, then you can always try again and then perhaps try again. Now, what happens if you get the visa? What can you do and what can't you do? And obviously the Home Office has set out some guidance. You can study in the United Kingdom. For some courses you're going to need an ATAS certificate. Let's say you're not coming here to study, say, biological weapons, for example. I know it's an extreme example, but that's what it's there for. You can work in most jobs. You can be self-employed and set up a company, as long as your premises are rented and your equipment is not worth more than £5,000. Doesn't seem you're going to get very much for that. And you do not have any employees. So get a job or a small self-employed business. Now, what can't you do under the Youth Mobility Scheme? Well, you can't work as a professional sports person, for example, as a coach. You can't extend your stay. You can't get access to public funds. And perhaps most importantly, you can't bring family members in with you. They must apply separately. If they're from a non-ballot country, then they can just apply. And if they're from a ballot country, then they're going to have to apply in the ballot. But it's not a case where you can bring in, say, if you succeed under the ballot, you can bring your wife and then you could bring some children in as well. It's not open for that purposes. So I hope I've briefly and correctly outlined what the Youth Mobility Scheme is as at the 4th of July. The key thing is that the ballot for the people from the 4 countries that need to enter the ballot will be opening on the 25th of July and closing on the 27th of July. So if you are interested, you better get your skates on, check out the Home Office website or get in touch with me and I'll do my best to help you. Thank you very much for watching. This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers.